How's it going, guys? It's Wexxim Investing here, and in today's video we just need to talk about China. Obviously so much is happening recently and there's so many pumps going on, and I just wanted to make a quick video covering all of these items that are getting pumped right now and giving my opinion on where they could be heading and what items are actually showing some strong demand. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so here we are in the market, and as I mentioned there, China's back. We kind of knew this was gonna happen. I did mention it in a video not too long ago. Actually, we can roll the clip of that when we covered a inside article released where they tracked the terminals and the cards being used on all third-party websites for skins. Actually, roll a clip of that right now. There are clear indications that Chinese investors are returning. This insight comes from tracking thousands of accounts and users, and the activity on Buff over the past week, revealing a steady increase in purchases from mainland China. And this is from November 6th. Additionally, inside information from payment providers shows a 10% rise in transactions originating from China in the past 3 days alone. Okay, so we already knew that China was coming back to the CS2 market. And this we knew back in November, because what happened was China lost so much trust in Valve and we were a bit unsure if they were ever going to come back into the CS2 market again. But recently they've been starting to buy again. And what's happening now is they're buying every single item and pumping it and then dumping it, which we hate, obviously. But it's also very fun to look at these graphs. So, for example, let's start it off easy with graffitis. I know this was talked about in the Discord as well. I brought it up here. We can see one of the members sent out that some of these graffitis are up as much as 2,000%, right? And all of them are up hundreds of percent. And what is happening if we go back here into the graphs, we can see, hey, before we continue, I have to tell you about my own website, Wexxim Investing, where you can track all cases and check today's market. You can also see my investments and see my videos. And lastly, it's the place to join the biggest CS2 investing community out there. In the Discord, you can make friends, talk to people about investments, and ask any question you have about your own investments. After that, a great investor will give you a detailed breakdown in return of any question you have. In the Discord, we also offer buff balances, we offer giveaways, we offer graph analytics on all collection and cases, and we also have a bot tracking Chinese inventories, giving us early indication if an item is about to be manipulated. And we also have mass notification alert if any big update is coming into the game files, and I am honestly so happy to see what it has become during 2026. And I am positive that we will continue to grow this family. If you like CS2 investing, head on over to Wexxim Investing. Let's get into the video again. That these items are being pumped to a crazy extent. And this is nothing but pumping, okay? So items like this is something you want to stay away from, because the odds of you going profit here are very, very slim, right? Because China decides already here what item, and here they start investing, and then they do the pump right here. And this is when you are stuck in a trade hold, and that's when they sell. And that's how it works every single time. And that's what they will continue doing. So it's very important to keep an eye on that. And for example, if we take a look at a different item, like for example, the MP9 Hydra, this is from the CS20 collection, I'm fairly sure. We can see the exact same thing, right? China is buying up here, and then it goes absolutely diabolical. But what is the difference between these two graphs? Well, we can see here that here we had a planned pump, and then the dump before the trade reverse or the trade hold got opened up again. But here we can see they haven't sold yet. And from the 29th, which is today, from the 17th, it's only gone up. I'm not saying this is a good investment, not at all. But what has happened here is that the Western markets start buying as well. So if we go down here, we can see that Eastern markets, yeah, they only have the 24% now, but the Western markets had started pumping this item as well. If you can find a pump where you see that the Western markets are buying, what normally happens in today's market, this isn't what happened before. Before it was only China and only the Eastern markets doing the pumping and dumping. But what happens now is that the Western markets, they jump in and they pump for much longer, because obviously Counter-Strike is a Western game, and Counter-Strike, theoretically, we have much more money laying around over in the Western markets as well. And what happens now, which didn't really happen before, is that people are starting to FOMO and people are starting to buy in, and we're not seeing them crash down as much. So now all of a sudden, if you're playing it smart, if you can find an item that's beginning to pump and find a good entry, then even if it crashes down a little bit, you'll still be up 100% because all of the Western markets or all of the people from the Western markets that bought on the hype right here, they're not selling. And before we continue on, I want to show you exactly how to find this that I just covered. Well, it's very simple. As you can see, clearly, if you're looking at the red and green here, they're buying insane amounts, but the price of the item is not moving. And then here they start buying less and less, and that's because there's not as many out for sale. And obviously, this is where the Western markets come in, and they start buying it, and they actually do the pumping. And that's something we've seen a lot recently on a lot of these items. So if you see a graph laying still, being bought more than usual, but graph not moving, that's normally a very good indication if this is something that you like doing. Me personally, I stay away from these type of items. This is not my type of investments. But I know it's very popular for everyone out there, and all the people in my Discord as well, they love to look at stuff like this. So this video is for everyone that's a CS2 enjoyer, that likes these kind of stuff. Hey, Wexxim from the future here. I just wanted to be a little bit clearer to show you guys a real world example. So this account here is a famous manipulator in the scene, okay? And this guy had a crazy amount of hydras back in November. And if we jump back into the graph here, we can see that he bought them in November, which is right here. And what are the odds that the biggest manipulator in China, when it was at its lowest point in several months, bought it right here? And now, thanks to finding the exact same float from his inventory, he still has a few left. And we can see here that he's selling them right now on CS float. Okay, and we can also take a look at something like the M4AS Nightmare. So I added in a volume line here. I just manually added this one in. So we can take a look, and you can see this is the average volume all across the board. And what we can see here is the price spikes away, but volume, nothing is happening there. This is the player base growing during September, October, to just market being healthy last autumn, right? But then we can clearly see crazy volume coming in. So many of them are being bought. It's insane. But what is happening? Price is fairly still. And this is because they're buying all of the cheapest ones on every single market. They're buying from Buff, they're buying from Upin, they're buying from Skinsport, they're buying from all of these websites, but they're only buying the cheapest ones. And then the price doesn't really go up because the price only goes up if somebody buys the second cheapest one. So then what happens? This goes up a little bit and boom, it flies away. So I just wanted to show this one as well, because here you can see a clear demand graph, something that is not FOMO, something that is not manipulation, and then the clear manipulation happening right before, boom, it flies away. Okay, so I don't want to keep this video too long, so I'm going to wrap it up. But yes, we do have more items pumping as well. We have, for example, have the Guardian here. We have the Gold Web sticker where we can see a crazy pump. This one is for sure has some more demand in it and is not purely of a hype, but this one is very easily being able to be dropped as well. We have the Famas from the cash collection. So this one I'm fairly sure it started with demand. We're seeing a small hype and a crash now. So yeah, there's a lot of items right now being pumped and a lot of stuff happening on the market. But I just wanted to make this video kind of give you a direction on where you can look and how you can, for yourself, kind of calculate if it's a good buy or not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the love lately. And thank you for all of you who have joined the Discord. Honestly, I'm shocked how many people are joining the Discord. And it makes me so happy. We're really building a family in there. And I love talking to you guys in there every single day. And yeah, 2026 will be massive. I can't wait. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.